Okay, now one of my subscribers asked me, Jamil, what's the big deal about Jim Jones and the People's Temple? Why do you keep going over it? Jim Jones and the People's Temple is a healthy subject to study. More Americans need to study that subject. And I study it probably more than most people I've ever come across. I think Lee Ingram, or Ingram, how do you pronounce it? I think was just as responsible for that poor Kaituma thing as anybody. And people do not know his whereabouts. And I'm not advocating for him to be um, like investigated or anything. This is a research subject that I'm doing, and I've been doing it for years. And I'm just explaining to people my perspectives of what happened in Jonestown. But you have the situation with Larry Layton, who went to the penitentiary in Guyana, and I don't believe he was responsible for the assassination of the Congressman Leo Ryan. Then you have Sharon Amos and her children whose throats were slit in Georgetown. And you have all these other bodies in Jonestown. And they cleaned up the mess pretty good. There's no facial identifying pictures of any of the victims in Jonestown. There were people in Jonestown who contacted me a few years ago and sent me photographs of the other cabins. And you can see where people were strangled and shot and killed in various ways. Then they brought little buckets of cyanide, little tin buckets in there to make it seem like they drank the poison. These people were murdered. Some of them drank the poison, but it was a murder. And, you know, history has a tendency to repeat itself. And I think it's important that people look into the Jonestown thing. I think a lot of people are afraid of it. I think people are cowards and they're afraid to look into it. Why would I be concerned? We go on the news and we listen to stuff that happens in Korea and all these other places. These are Americans who died in Guyana, people who grew up here and lived in the States. And it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if it happened 40 years ago or 400 years ago. There's something there to be learned.